I was kind of worried because I'm a single person that in case if I am sick, I have no one that will take care of me.
Wow, that's a very deep question. My biggest fear is death, poverty, and wasting this life away.
It's spiders and maybe like ghosts. Because they're really creepy. Sometimes they don't have hands, they don't have legs. Sometimes they don't have eyes, so it's like very scary to me.
Paranormal activities, dark rooms, all those scare me. That's why I don't dare to go out at night.
Just sometimes like in the night while sleeping, I just think of them and I think they're very scary.
There was a time where there's this ghost game on the phone that was extremely popular when I was young. My friends wanted to show me this game. Then when I looked at it, I immediately saw this very scary ghost pop out of nowhere and it just developed from there.
I've heard that some of the spiders are poisonous. Even though they're small, I'm pretty scared of them.
My biggest fear is the cockroaches because there was one fine night when I was actually sleeping. I feel that something is crawling inside me. So when I actually turn on the light, cockroach fall off from my pajamas. Yeah, so I actually got phobia of it.
I would say my biggest fear is actually boredom. Like getting bored of things, getting bored of relationships, getting bored of what I thought I used to enjoy.
At this current stage, I lose everything that I own right now. That would be my biggest fear.
For me or my close loved ones to be scammed out of our life savings.
I was 18 years old. I had no background in the performing arts. I just showed up for the audition because I really wanted to go to school. And it was very scary because I didn't know if I was going to be accepted. I didn't know if they were going to reject me.
One of my biggest fears, apart from spiders, is that I will live a life that is unfulfilled and that I would die without actually making an impact on this world.
My biggest fear is to have lived a life where I didn't chase my dreams. I did not live up to my potential.
Not accomplishing the things that I want to accomplish and that I was put on this earth to accomplish by the time that I die.
Fear of abandonment, friends leaving or like being alone.
My biggest fear would be losing like my loved ones or like my close friends.
I think the biggest would be just losing parents. I grew up very close to my mom and my dad. I'm the only child as well. So I think that's something that I fear a lot about losing them or just the thought of not having them in my life.
You're going through something and then you feel like there's nobody to talk to. And that sense of like desperation, not having any support. I think that feeling of fear and helplessness is something that I hope never to have as a sustained emotion.
I don't have any children. I don't have a husband that will take care of me if I'm sick.
I'm an active person. I swim, I walk, I run every day. I travel around the world. And so I'm afraid to lose my mobility.
My biggest fear is to grow old. The fact that I think I won't be able to do a lot of things, and there's a lot of things that I haven't accomplished yet.
My biggest fear up to now is fear of dying in a car crash. Because I nearly died in a car crash during my university days when I was studying in the US. That has a haunting thought on me until today.
We have only one life to live. I'm not sure what religion you subscribe to, but the only life that we know is now. And I thought that, as long as I work hard, I can make it somewhere, somehow, someday. But now that I'm 30 years old and beyond, it suddenly becomes a little bit like scary. Like, what if I'm 50 and still like not making a living for myself?
Losing everything that I own at the moment, it's pretty much worse than dying. Because if you're like 90 years old and you lose everything that you own, then yeah, totally fine. But I'm like 31, probably the best decade to do and try everything.
I saw this video of Joe Low, the guy who scammed like a whole country out of billions. And he is now still free. One person doing it on a large scale can get away. A bunch of people doing it on a smaller scale would have an easier time to like slip away, right?
It shouldn't always be fun and exciting, right? But then I think there's a kind of like passion or newness, that I would want. throughout the entire relationship. There are a lot of exciting things to do in life. And then if you don't go and pursue these things, right, in life, you just kind of get bored.
Between 16 to 18, I felt really depressed because I genuinely felt like everything that my life was meant to be was not going to be. And it was scary because if I had not been able to do performing arts at 18, which I already felt was too late, because people start at like 7, 8, I think I would have just lost a lot of hope in life and in people and obviously in my dreams. And my life would have, I don't even know what my life would have become.
There's always an anxiety of, am I doing enough? Am I making the best of the opportunities that are in my life? Am I not distracted and focused enough to be able to know my purpose and to be able to be in that direction? So that's the fear that I have in subconsciously.
I think I'm at the age where my friends around me are starting families, having children, and seeing them have like little versions of themselves and them imparting a kind of legacy on them really makes me think that, like, wow, what is my life going to be? And am I just gonna leave this earth like having left nothing behind?
Back in 2019, my dad is actually like diagnosed with cancer. From then, I've been very like afraid because it's like, okay, what if one day he's not here anymore? Currently, he's been fighting well. He's been battling like over the years, going for chemotherapy and all, which I think is like very good and brave because it's like positivity kind of like keep him going. The fear, right, it's kind of like intertwined with like anxiety of like losing people close to me because like you never know when it'll be like their last time and all that.
The idea of them leaving and then like not having like a reconciling gives me like a bit of anxiety.
I think with fear there comes a lot of like anger and like sadness as well, because you're kind of angry about not having a hold of the situation, right? Sort of like you sort of just give in because you can't do anything about it. So I think there are many emotions that come with that. The anxiety also comes with not knowing how it's going to turn out, not knowing how every day is going to be. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I would say the fear is associated with.
Turning 30, the big 30, and like I haven't accomplished a lot of things in life and I just don't want to grow old and want to stay as a child.
I want to achieve all the things that I have planned, and I'm quite scared if I unexpectedly die before I achieve those things.
Sorry, before that, just get a big clap first.
Oh, just one clap, okay.
Right. Hello everyone, my name.
Like, share, comments, and subscribe.